Hello, my name is Xavier Mercado, and this is Spearhead Conversations. Today, I'm joined by special guests, GEEKSET Podcast.
Hey, what's good?
These gentlemen have infused hip-hop and a geek culture, nerd culture. They've infused it, and they've amplified the Blerd culture.
Yeah.
With that being said, I've been following their content, and when I say fire, it's fire.
Appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate that.
Respect goes where respect is due. And you guys, I love it. So without further ado, how y'all doing?
We doing great.
Doing good.
Yeah, lovely intro, bro.
Man.
That was a great intro.
Yeah, man. But we doing great, man. We got a lot that we working on. We've been busy.
I've been witnessing history in the making, Milwaukee on the fucking map.
Man, trying.
Definitely trying. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, but I admire what you guys do. Like the culture you've embraced and just, the platform you've created for, a nerd type culture. But I feel like a lot of people be in the closet about those type of things.
Yeah, you find your own tribe, and so I mean, we realized that after a while that's just something that a lot of people don't realize that you're not alone in any kind of geek space that you may feel that you're in. Whether it be comic books or anime or video games or sport. Like you can find people that actually find those common interests, and you can really work together and pretty much there. Like just make it bigger.
Yeah.
And I it's our dynamic too. I realize like the way that we talk with people is like we make them comfortable because it's like, yo, don't hide that. Yo, bring it out. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we take that aggressive approach to it. Like, nah, let's talk about it. What you love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like Star Wars? Let me know about all that Star Wars stuff you love. You like, you know what I'm saying, E.T. or whatever the case may be. We want to go in depth because, we love having those moments, those nostalgic moments, but then talking about it further.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, look at the passion coming out these mics. Well, people have been hearing it for now. Let's go into introductions. You know what?
You forgot, yeah.
Yep. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Rudy.
I'm doing
The intro.
All right, so. All right. Welcome to GEEKSET Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces. With me, I got my man Bacardi Sensei.
What's good, everybody? How we doing?
We doing great, and as always, I got my man Didge.
What is happening, people?
And that is the signature intro.
Yeah. Bro, I feel blessed right now. And I gotta do this real quick.
What you got a button too?
Throw in the air. That's how you gotta do it. Get those air horns going.
Oh man,
y'all are this bad.
Yeah, I feel honored and it's a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the platform.
Thank you for having us.
Oh no, thank you for coming on the platform and really representing Milwaukee, man. Because that's the purpose.
Yeah, I mean
that's the purpose.
You want to show that it's more things in Milwaukee than what people just see on the surface.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
especially giving the outlook that our city has for so many people.
Yeah.
You see like the Kia Boys stuff. You see all the negative of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
To just shine the outlook on like, hey, Milwaukee's way more than that.
You got your platform. I got my platform.
Oh, yeah.
It's that's what it is. So I'm just glad that people have really answered the call. I will say, it's real big. We got this next generation coming up, and we got to show. We got to show them a type of path.
And I think it's also the people that are pushing, like, you know what I'm saying, like you, like us, like, the other folks that are moving. We are doing it at a level, like the way that we put it out is at a top tier level, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like there's no slacking. You can see the investment in what we put into our product and what we put out to the world. And I think that also helps because now it gives people like, I can be on something and it doesn't look like, this was just somebody who did it in their basement.
Yep.
Like, this actually looks like something extremely dope that I'm proud of.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And knowing that it's homegrown from the city.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah. Well, let's jump in, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into the nitty gritty.
All right. So where y'all from?
Man.
Everybody, well, yeah, I was gonna say everybody. I'm from Milwaukee. Born and raised.
What area?
Pretty much north side. I'm in the hood. Been born and raised in the hood.
Okay.
Mama's still over there.
Definitely north side, man. North side Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of grew up around in the Mill Road, the Meadows, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Holding down. Shout out Bergie. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely grew up here. Born in California.
Yeah.
Look at dude over there. Look at the petals on that hat right there.
West Coast did.
You see a flower child apparently.
West Coast did.
Flower child.
West Coast did.
But yeah, military family.
Yep.
Grew up here. This is where family's from. But yeah, born in California.
Yeah.
I mean, they're brothers, so you gotta.
Yeah.
They didn't even put that really out there.
And
I feel like we talk about it enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's out there.
Like by now you should know.
You got the brothers, and then you got the fire ass designer right next to us, bro.
Well, eventually we were like, man, we need a designer, and that.
Look at dude.
added it on.
Added it on. Yeah.
I was the add-on. You know what I'm saying? I like that art story. You know, that multiverse. That what if?
Right.
What if?
Geek said what if? A geek said what if? You know what I'm saying?
That's the comic storyline, you know.
Yeah. How was your childhood?
Man, it was great. You know, being a military kid, one of the things that I love is I got to see the world early. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, got you.
We lived in Germany for 4 years. We lived in Cali for 2 years. We lived in Hawaii for like a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So we really got to travel around. And, you know, just being able to see the world at a young age really does help your perspective on a lot of things. And
man.
Yeah. But then like coming back to Milwaukee and then like, you know what I'm saying, being with my family and getting that level of realism. Because, you know, military, it's kind of sheltered. Military, they put you in a house. They put you in there, right? So when you come from that and then you come back and then you see the reality of it, I know for me specifically, like we're very family orientated, right?
Yeah, close knit.
Yeah, close knit. So it's like I become this person where I'm like, all right, I want to put my family in a better situation, and it's something that's constantly I'm thinking about, like legacy, about doing it. And so like my childhood was all love. We had a huge family. Both of my parents have, you know, 6 siblings on each side, and each sibling had 2-3 kids. So we have cousins galore, aunties, and everything. So it's like knowing that love and seeing that is like you become that. You become a person that is like, yo, I'm all about love. I'm all about family. I take that seriously. So like with Bacardi coming in and, you know what I'm saying, being like family, like I treat them like family because like I value somebody that's close to me, that's working with me, that's helping me achieve
helping you grow.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So that aspect of childhood was really great for us.
How about you, Bacardi?
I had mine was pretty good. I mean, I feel like I had the regular normal bad kid kind of childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like playground runs, staying out late. You know what I'm saying? I had me and my little brother. Shout out to Brandon LB. He was the reason that kind of like he was the person that kind of sparked my creativity. Okay. I mean, as a little brother, he began his rap career really early at like 10.
Oh wow!
So I was swindling my mother into buying beat machines, and so I mean, you know, we're 5 years apart, so I'm pretty much at like 14, 15. Yeah. Telling, you know, his first like performance was at a Great America, and like where they had the recording booth. Yep. And he like freestyled over No Diggity, No Doubt, and so it's like
baby get down.
Yeah. Like, you know what's funny about No Diggity, No Doubt? I got kicked out of a talent show who he's about to perform No Diggity, No Doubt.
Y'all about to actually do the song?
Yeah.
Y'all wild for that.
You should have got kicked out.
And this was in elementary.
Yeah, y'all wild for that.
You should have got kicked out. For sure.
But like that was like that's what kicked off more of my like I was always I play, you know, the video games and everything like that. I had my clique on the neighborhood that we was all, you know what I'm saying, running around. But I did have like my geek side was that. Like I feel like, and we probably talk about it too, but it was like I didn't I had those friends. It's like, bro, don't you acting weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I couldn't really be like I was heavy cartoons and Ninja Turtles and all that. So I was like, I always say like I used to use that language in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying, the cowabungas and the radical. Most black people, you know what I'm saying? Like a little black boy in the hood saying cowabunga, bro.
Bro, you don't even got a little white kid saying cowabunga is awesome. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Cowabunga.
North side of Milwaukee, though. Put them in the north side.
it gets an added layer. Yeah. But anybody saying cowabunga going tubular. You're not on the West Coast. You're not on the West Coast.
Like Did said, you coastal appropriating.
I feel like that surfer kids. They get around with it.
Oh, but so I definitely had. So I grew up in that where I had to kind of like not really be my geeky self in the city. I had a really close friend, my guy Cornell, that we shared, cartoons and like. When all our other friends were like, bro, that shit is, we too grown for that.
Yep.
We still was like, we had our other days. Like, bro, we gonna get together and, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, forget what they talking about.
Screw them.
Yeah, fuck what they talking about. So it's like, but I mean, yeah, I think for me being able to do music early at an age, getting into that kind of mindset of trying to create, like I tried to create my, I had my own record label. I had I had artists with me. I started doing beats. I was producing. So I had a mentality from 15 to 16 growing up and like, I really want to make this record label and do this and all because of my brother kind of doing music. So without me having that
influence,
that kind of influence, for me, that's what kind of, it paused for a second, but I think because I always had that era of my life, it let me also know that I can be in a very creative space. I can you can't do what you really want to do because, like, being a rapper or anything like that.
Yeah, for sure.
You really on your own. Like, there is nobody. It's not like going to a job. Like, you really got to invest in yourself. Yeah. So knowing I did that for 10 years of trying to put a musical career together, but also so I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, that helps me where I'm at now.
Well, man, it sounds like your childhood was bumping, bro.
It's the normal late night. So sad. It was cool though. Yeah.
How about you, Didge, man?
Obviously a lot of it overlaps with Deuce's childhood.
Yeah.
But the difference in the military aspect of it, would probably be how I looked at life.
Yeah.
Because military, you're so segmented from focus on this job, focus on that job.
Yep.
Yeah. My life was really that. Like, I lived, like, when I'm with my friends who we were doing our geeky stuff, we're doing that and no cares in the world. And I was lucky enough to have a bunch of friends who I could do that. But when it was like, okay, schooling stuff, I was heads in. I was that super studious kid.
Yeah.
Who was, all right, I got to get in there. This is what I'm doing. I had also had the music career trial. I had those aspirations. That was the thing that sort of fell to the wayside, and it was something that it was one of those things where it's like, sure, I want to do it, but do I want to put in the time, the effort, the investment? Not really. Like I when Bacardi interviewed me, I spoke about. Time me and my friends, we were going to buy a microphone. I think it was like a $300 microphone. We had to pay like $75 each. And I had a job at the time. So I was like, I could afford it, but I'm still clutching my pearls. Like, $75 though? Really?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't ready to make the leap.
Like, but it was all because my life was so segmented in different things that the music one was like, it's just more so because it's bleeding over. My friends who I'm doing all this geeky stuff also like music. Yeah. So it's like, when I'm friends time, it's all right, whatever y'all want to do. Whatever. Yeah. And so it was that.
Yeah, man. Shit. Well, I love music.
That was my life.
I've literally timelined my life behind music. Like, I know in the 3rd grade, I was in front of the TV watching Celine Dion's Your Heart Will Go On because Titanic came out that year.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Bro. You can remember that.
Yeah, bro.
Music played so much in my life because like my pops used to do music as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And one of the first raps that I ever learned was a rap that he made about Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And I would perform it every Black History from like 2nd grade on up. So like I'm so comfortable on stage because I've been doing it since a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At assemblies, at Black History programs.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So when I started coming into my own and just like making my own music and everything, like that was like me and Streets was just running. Streets and Young Deuces, like we was just running.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? We was in the Source magazine, Ozone. Like so it's like that was a huge part of my life for the longest.
Yeah. Man, yeah, our timeline. 2nd grade, Fuji's.
Hey, man.
Ready and
Man, that's so wow. 2nd grade was Fuji.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was preschool for me, Bacardi.
That's what I'm saying. That was like
That was preschool.
middle school for me.
Yeah, that was middle school for me.
Yeah.
Middle school
Oh
for me,
man,
right.
yeah. Fuji's.
That was,
Like you probably was exiting middle school and I was coming
Right.
into
I
middle
was
I feel
going
like I
to the Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning, and that was off of 27th. I don't think it's there. They renamed or it's not there anymore. But yeah, man, I've timelined my whole life to music, and I got love for music. I've done music, and I'll show y'all some of the tracks after this interview.
Definitely.
But
I would not be showing any of y'all the tracks. They-
you know. But I love music, and I can sense, you know, to me, music has a big part in your guys' lives. Like,
Yeah. The vibe, the energy of it.
That was the whole idea for GeekSet. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? When I was thinking about doing podcasts, I was going to do a general hip hop podcast. Right?
Yeah.
But then what ended up happening was I
Hey,
couldn't.
this was gonna be a podcast, bro.
before you go into that, what drew you to the blurred culture?
Well, this it goes.
This
to
is
tangent.
what's gonna go.
This
Okay,
goes to
got you.
tangent with it. And I couldn't find a co-host, right? My people around me at the time, they had no interest in podcasting. So then I just said, all right, forget it. I guess podcasting ain't in the wheelhouse. But then I still wanted the podcast. So then after a while I said, well, what else am I passionate about that I can talk about? You know what I'm saying? And one of the things was nerd culture because I love comic books, video games, anime, and everything like that. So I was like, all right, let's talk about that. And I'm like, oh man, you know what? I'm listening to all these other podcasts, and I'm like, as much as I love them, the one thing that they're not doing is they don't sound like us or have our perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I said, ooh, what if we blend that together? So I kind of threw it out, you know what I'm saying, on Facebook. Like, yo, I'm thinking about doing a podcast about geek culture with a little bit of hip hop feel to it. Like at that time, we didn't know what we was going to call it or even our whole spill. And you know what I'm saying? So, you know, one of our original co-hosts, he responded first, and then Bacardi got tagged in it by a mutual friend of ours, and so and there was a lot of people being tagged. A lot of people say, "Oh my God, my guy, my guy," but when I saw them two, I said, "You know what? I already know them. I got a relationship with them." And again, I said, "I don't want to have to go through those growing pains of learning a new co-host."
For sure.
Yep. So then we got together. We had a steak dinner where we ate some steak and whiskey and hashed it out and figured out what we was going to do. We came up with the name and everything.
Don't worry, we're gonna hook you up with some games.
But like that was it. You know what I'm saying?
And I made it, and like even like when we're thinking of the name, like that's really is our tribute to music heavily because GeekSet is a play on Dipset.
Yeah,
So
and I'll tell you, man. My mom's last name is Santana.
Oh,
So I was born in the Bronx.
okay.
Oh, dope.
And then I was raised over here, and I'd always go back and forth. But yeah, man, when Dipset came out, and then that last name,
Right.
I got a cousin named Hector. Yeah, every Puerto Rican does. But he was like his big brother growing up. We were super close. And he's the one who introduced me to Dipset. But when they came out, boy, was the streets on fire.
And see, that was the move because we was like, look, we about to be something that's new, and we're going to be something that's really like, yo, we are the rowdy
Yeah.
Because at the time, we wasn't really thinking about being the reporters of it. We was like, we just going to show black people loving this. And, and you know what I'm saying? So we was like, Dipset, when you see Dipset, they were cool. You wanted to be like Dipset.
Oh, yeah.
So
Definitely.
So we was like, people gonna want to be like GeekSet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we kind of linked in on that. We was reckless.
Yeah,
I
mean that was our pure audio years. Like,
Some
we
of
were
the
like
early
purely
episodes
audio.
were
Yeah, like I said, our first, we definitely didn't know if we were trying to be drink champs. We were trying to be. We didn't know what we was trying to do at that time. So there was a lot of experimental episodes, a lot of slapped episodes.
Slapped episodes.
Right.
First episode.
First episode.
Our very first episode, Bacardi went missing after the episode.
That's how drunk we got.
Yeah.
It was a wild
I didn't go
time.
missing though. I really was just at home and I just
When was
I was off the world. Woke up the next day like, wow, I was looking for me. Like,
I went on autopilot. When was GeekSet created?
2017, man.
2017.
September.
September 19th.
Yep.
Was the first podcast episode.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was the first.
Actually,
artist.
my first episode, I released September.
Yeah.
September's a good month.
Good start
It's a
fall.
great month,
Like,
yeah.
new season, it's fall season.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
You gotta come in just like all like TV shows, like right on fall. You know what I'm saying?
It worked perfectly for what we was trying to do too, because Halloween was coming. You know what I'm saying, and that's always a big episode for us in our Halloween episodes. But yeah, it was like we came in, we did the first episode, and then we did like 2 episodes that month, and then we followed up with the Halloween episode, which was our 3rd episode, and that was a huge one for us because, you know what I'm saying, we got to talk about horror movies, but like we had like this whole like spill to it, and we brought that flavor.
Yeah, well, you also did a Christmas episode. That was fire. I'm not gonna lie. Dog.
Yeah, like we
That's always a fun episode.
Yeah, we try to
Christmas
have a good theme one every once.
Yeah.
And this Christmas one was really dope because this was around the hype of AI, and we had them do an AI story, and that's GEEKSET saves Christmas, man.
I love it, man. What do you think makes this trio work as a unified front?
Everybody sort of knows what they're here for.
Yeah.
Obviously, I do a lot of our production work. Getting the video going, getting the video out, all of that. Audio, same, obviously. Bacardi makes sure the merch goes well, make sure that we're branded properly.
Yeah.
And then Deuces, obviously, as the face and sort of public arm of GeekSet, he's making sure not only are we all putting our best foot forward, but that everybody knows who we are and why you should talk to us.
And that's you got to understand the base. The base of things, and that's what I truly respect. I love that I see all these people with platforms wearing the gear.
Yeah.
I thank you for making that shirt because hey, you're gonna catch it on the episode, bro.
Well, I mean, I like even with this and like that's what I said. Like that's really how I view it. Is that like I view our trio by Rudy. Like because I'm like what you see about Rudy is all of us working to make Rudy. You know what I'm saying? Like the look, whether he's wearing, if he's shooting stuff here,
you all attribute each other, but with you got the Deuce. I'm like, he got some mojo. He got one-on-one with Deuces. I'm like.
I mean, it's great.
And that's not taken away from anyone.
I mean, that's what's great about it, though, is the fact that it's everybody that's the lane of someone who is pursuing like a face for themselves, like a brand.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna be in those places, you're gonna knock on those kind of doors because that's where that's the circle you want to be in.
It goes into that.
I'm looking for Fashion Week. You
right.
See feet up at
that's what I was just gonna say. It goes to whatever your end goal is. Like my end goal is I don't want to necessarily be in the front of the camera every time. I'm much more comfortable being that person. Is okay. We got you set up. We got you going together. Yeah. Now go out there and do your thing.
You know what the funniest thing? So like I think it is trust because we all trust everybody in the respective fields.
Yeah.
But what we realize is we see certain things that people get excited about or certain things that people complain about, right? Yeah. So like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kev on stage, right? This is funny because you know what I'm saying? When he was on stage, he was wearing our shirts, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm geeked. I'm like, yo, Kev, wearing the shirts and everything like that. The first thing Bacardi said is, dang, I wish you would have held the mic a little bit different so that we get the whole logo.
Blocking the logo out. I'm like, bro, you blocking the logo.
Yeah.
So another
I gotta pay for that. Right.
That extra. And I'm like, it's not like he blocked the whole thing. It's just like you can definitely
you can know by logo that is mine.
But then like another thing is one of the episodes, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this episode looks pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Right there. But then somebody in the comments was like, shout out to Didge for getting the audio. And Didge in the group chat like, hey, y'all see that? Y'all see that? You know what I'm
trying to tell y'all.
Right?
Certain little things we can tweak.
And then like with me, like if I get a big name guest, I'm in the group chat like, yo, I just got such and such the one-on-one. And they like, oh, that's dope. And I'm like,
yeah.
But it's like it is that. It's like you see where people get excited about, but then you also see like, so it's like we trust it. It's like there's times where Didge be telling us something and we like most of our arguments as a clique is because we all try to accommodate each other, right? Like I'm not going to make a big change or a big step without Bacardi and Didge's
of course
input, right? But then when it doesn't happen and I'm kind of frustrated it didn't happen when it happened, they're like, well, why you just didn't do it? You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks ago, Didge got upset over an audio situation, right?
That was literally last week.
And the big thing thing that me and Bacardi was like, well, just do it. And he's like, well, I was waiting for y'all and y'all get me. We was like, just do it. And it's like, that's how you know that everybody has their lanes. Cause like we trust each other enough that if like, this logo came out of nowhere. I don't know when Bacardi did this logo, but it's like I trust Bacardi. It's like he didn't have to wait. He didn't have to say, I want to do this logo. What y'all think? We was like, no, just
I do hashtag it. I know you've been seeing it on my posts, bro. I'm just saying I respect it.
But it's the trust.
But it's you got that type of trust. The chemistry is built, and like I mean the barriers you guys are knocking down. Mm-hmm. I think for me, watching that unfold is like the greatest thing. It's bold. It's bold, it's brave, and it's like you guys should feel proud of the platform you've created. Because I've seen through your interviews, a lot of people finally drop it and be like, you know what? Yeah, I love Ninja Turtles. I love Pokemon. You know, so I love Naruto.
So I mean, and that's really that's what's great about it, because we are. I don't want to call it like it's not like a niche podcast or nothing. Like this is literally just. We're just bringing, and that's what changes. Like when we wanted to start it, bringing the shine to other people. Yeah. The way to do that was to make sure they realize that they are what we are. You know what I'm saying? Like don't look at us like we're just some random 3 guys that are geeks. You are a geek too. You just don't realize.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you're a geek too, and that's why we're talking to you, because you're gonna get that geek out of you and realize you're just part of the same culture. Like you're part of this culture in your own way, and the culture really is nothing but just fandom of things that you love and things that you know what I'm saying, like love doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And finding your people and finding your space. So a lot of people that we talk to in the, that Deuce's interviews, when he gets it out and they really have that light bulb moment, like, so I'm a geek? You like,
That's like, always so great when you talk to someone, even for something as mundane as like sports. Yeah. And you get them to realize that when they go that in depth on that, that's some geeky stuff. They're like, like it is. Yeah. Because like Bacardi is saying, everybody's geeking out about something. But if you're telling somebody, this is what Kobe scored on January 12th, 2004. This is his stat. Like that's really geeky.
That's geeking out.
Geeking out.
Because I'm really gonna stare at you because like, how do you know that?
How did you know that, bro? Yeah.
So it's like, and people don't realize the kind of information that we keep, like that we really like store, that's really like that's us.
About something that you're passionate about. You keep a lot of information about it.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus in on each one of y'all now.
All right.
So starting with you, Dij, what drew you to production?
Honestly, it was something along the lines of I always love to tell stories, and I think that's sort of what drew me to wanting to produce, is because you have the most control over the story that you can tell when you control the aspects that go into that story.
The narrative,
when you control the narrative, you control that story. And like I said, I'm not trying to tell a story that's like necessarily something where it's like attacking. It's just I like to tell stories. Like I said, trying to do screenwriting, trying to do all of these things that are behind the scenes, where then you can trust that your actors, whoever you're putting in front of the camera, you can trust that they're going to create your vision, but you control the process to get to that vision.
Yeah.
I think it's deeper for Dij, though, too. Like, because he's my brother, I know. Dij has always been a technical person. Okay. He's always been a person.
You said it in the beginning of the...
That's also true.
He's always been okay, how are we going to do this type of person, right? Yeah. So when you think about a director or a writer, it's like, oh, I got this idea, man. I want to tell this story about, getting out the hood. You know what I'm saying? A director or somebody behind us, like, okay, so how do we tell this story in completion, right? Yep. And I think that because Dij's mind always goes there, I think that that's also what attracts him to production.
I feel like I said that in so many words, but
he definitely abridged you. He definitely abridged.
I got to abridge. I always got to abridge.
All right, we gonna move on to my boy Bacardi. My boy Bacardi.
What's good?
What fashion? I give you all the salutes in the world, bro. Like. You create some hot ass shit, and I'm saying it like this because I want people to really feel the emphasis you have an eye for fashion. So what drew you in that direction?
Fam, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't think I have an eye for fashion.
Nah.
Really.
You're wearing it right now.
You're being a little too bashful.
No, I'm
You're being a little too
and
bashful.
I think I said this in the interview before.
We
Like I
gonna
told
cut
you,
the cameras.
I told you I grew up in that really like my mom dressed me. I had vests and khakis. Like in high school, I didn't dress like I didn't dress like this.
Yeah.
Like every blue. I never had J's. I never had my mother. I mean, I had the 2 for $75 that foot like you know what I'm saying.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? Like me and
Yeah.
my brother shared shoes. Like we so like I've never like the first pair of Jordans I got was a hand me down from one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like,
got you.
so I've never really been into fashion, and even as I got older, most of my fashion was just I was thrifting, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm like so that's why I've always really been a screen tee, jeans, like a flannel. Like I've never really wore like brand name. You know what I'm saying? So for me, when I did do music though, I did the same thing with them too. Like my artists and everything I had, I was going to our Capitol Court and getting shirts printed of our like album covers and doing like when we do a show, bro, we gotta be, you know what I'm saying? But I was always the one visually like, we can't just wear no regular clothes. I'm finna dress y'all.
This is how you know he was being too bashful. Think about what he just said.
Yeah,
I was a
I was
person
just
who
about
was
to
just
say
thrifting. I was a person who was just,
Yeah.
that's somebody who does have an eye for fashion
Yeah.
because you're not being able to go into the store and just say like, oh, this the latest thing. If you're thrifting, you're going in,
Yeah.
you're looking through the racks like, oh, this looks good with this,
Yeah,
this
bro.
looks good with that.
Can I
See how
tell you
bashful
something?
he is?
And can I say
Get
something?
dude out
though?
of here.
It wasn't until later on in life that I finally succumbed to thrifting because I love thrifting, bro.
Yeah.
These jeans I'm wearing,
Yeah.
not the sweatshirt. The sweatshirt, hey yo, Fred, Fred G 414. But
Boy said that better not be a thrill.
Hey, dude was gonna bust in. I didn't even know how he
But-
got here.
Right.
but yeah, you are being pretty bad.
I'm not, but
bro.
I guess I never because I've grew up in when you live in Northside Milwaukee or even going out kicking it, you don't see everybody dressing like you know what I'm saying like in thrift like everyone's literally trying to wear the $100, $200, $300 jeans and
But
all the new. You know what I'm
do you
saying?
consider that fashionable though? See, so that I think what Didge is trying to say is a person who just picks up a trend versus somebody who's like, well, even if you don't have the means, even if it's because of survival, you are somebody that's
Trying to
putting
show
together.
humble
something.
hands. He over here. I'm just getting
Like I don't think
Get outta here,
because
Bacardi.
you are wearing top fashion that you're fashionable. To me, a fashionable person is somebody who can put something together. Like I wouldn't even thought about that.
I mean,
Put that down
so
a little
I will say that I'm like
You don't have to pull it closer.
like
I'm
they're
just saying
saying
angle
everything
it
now,
down.
but I have come into that as I became more of a Cardi sensitive. I've come into more of a place because I mean, even with my clothes, like with everything I do for GeekSet and the clothes I wear, that's like when I did the interview for like I started a geek series of my own. That's pretty much going to be interviewing people in the creative space and everything. And I was the first. I interviewed myself as the first interview.
I've watched both episodes. You did. You got.
So I mean, even in like my senses, like I haven't necessarily made clothes yet thinking about everybody else.
Yeah.
Like I just been making stuff that I'm like, this would be called, like I would wear this. I would wear, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's really, so the fact that people can say like, you look fly in what you wear is like, I'm really just wearing what I would normally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, if more people can see that and want to buy, then they, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely can say now I feel more fashionable.
There you go.
Tired of the humble hands.
Well, because you got to think about the people that we rock with, right?
Yeah.
Virgil was somebody who said, "I'm making clothes that I and my friends would wear." That was something that Virgil was saying, right?
Okay.
Kanye West, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When he was doing it, he was doing the stuff that he would rock, right?
Yep.
So it is that a lot of times fashion comes from. There's more people who I want to get something new. I like it and stuff like that. So if you're basing it off of you and your innate sense of fashion, like this is something that I would rock, then that's something that's you fashion forward with it, bro.
Well, I guess that's
Well, we know now, and you can't hide behind it. Okay.
I mean, I'm in that space now because, like I said, it goes with my tag. Like I'm doing what I love, you know. So I love. I didn't think I would actually love making clothes,
That's
and that's what I said. For me, it was having that light bulb moment. Like you was doing this years ago, just off the top of, you know what I'm saying. Like I wasn't as deep as I am with GeekSet now when I had a record label, but I was always like, even though you were doing all this hands-on with music, you still had a niche. Like I want to put these guys in some different clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that really, when that came back to me, that's what made me realize, like, all right, I'm just now in a space now like years later where I can literally just jump out and really be as creative as I can be. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's more, and I put a lot more effort. Like back then I was, still kind of like getting people to do stuff. So once I put it into my own hands, then the creativity is limitless.
Well, we got you, man. We
got
you.
We got him.
Bashful Sensei.
We got him.
On to the man of the hour, coming in at 6 something. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish.
I wish too. So, Rudy, you addressed in the beginning of the interview, you've never been shy of the spotlight. Yeah. So I'll just say, what drew you to being an entertainer?
Everything that I do with entertainment has always been embedded in telling a story, right? So kind of like with Didge, I always wanted to use my voice for good, right? So even when I was doing music, I was like, I want to tell the story of a Milwaukee kid. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my big basis. Kid from Milwaukee, didn't see that in hip hop. I wanted to tell that story, right? And when I got into doing the podcast, and as we started doing it, even the love of it was like, oh, I want to show that Black people like this type of stuff, and we do this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I am an extrovert in every sense of the word extrovert. You can put me in any room, and I'm gonna be able to float and just talk with people. You know what I'm saying? And so like even when it comes down to promoting the business, when we see a crowd of people, my first thought is, I'm about to hand everybody a gift card. Like business card. Business card. Like to the detriment, even where Bacardi and them be like, all right, well, we gonna get something to eat. You meet us, we'll meet you.
Yeah.
But you need it though. You
definitely do.
I think for geeks, like for geeks, like most geeks are they're we're really more introverts. We're not really social. So to have be a geek platform and have someone who's a geek who's literally like, I'm finna, like, you gonna disrupt all of that. You always like, that's how you become noticed, because this is like, we all be to ourselves, but you got one dude literally in everybody's business.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like, even with the podcast, when we realize like, oh, we are helping amplifying voices and we're creating a safe space, that's my extroverted, and I'm saying, okay, I know that you are an introvert, so I'm going to lead this conversation of us geeking out. However, the focus is going to be on you, but it's not going to be on trying to expose. I'm like, I want to uplift you. I want to talk about the great things that you love. I want the stuff that you love. We're not going to make it be like, oh, you like that? Like, nah, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to talk about it. And so
embrace it.
It was just something that was, I don't know, it was always within me. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, I was the kid that talked too much. I was the kid in school that, every report card, Rudy's a good kid, but he talks too much. But I was like, well, let me use that for good. Let me use that to tell my story. But then now I got a love for also helping people tell stories, because knowing that I'm from Milwaukee and knowing that this story doesn't get told, I realized that, even with the way that we operate, I say we got to celebrate ourselves, because the next person is not always going to celebrate. Like, you've been celebrating us, and we love that.
Yeah.
But technically that's an anomaly. You don't get that often. Yeah. So my goal, and where we kind of came with GEEKSET, it was like, you know what? We know that you may accomplish something that you like, oh, this is crazy, right?
Yep.
And the next person may not celebrate with you. We've had that feeling. So I'm like, you know what? We going to make sure that when somebody accomplishes something dope, we going to celebrate with them. Because now you like, we going to give you the celebrity treatment.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so it's kind of been a mission. It's just like, you know what? That's what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Bacardi, think about it, with his clothes, he likes fashion, but he likes to see other people enjoy the fashion, right?
Yep.
Make somebody feel good, like, I'm feeling fresh in this book made by Bacardi. You know what I'm saying? With Didge, the reason why he's so, like on point about make sure your audio good, make sure the visual is good, is because with Didge, where he gets joy out is, I want somebody to be excited about this look. I look good on camera. You know what I'm saying? That light and fire. So it's like, it came together perfectly, because all of our missions is to make the other person look as big as possible. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And so it's like, it's just been really, really dope to be able to do that. And I accepted that I'm going to be the loudest person, the most forward person in the room. But it's like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to make you feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to come up to you. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to say what you like, what you love. We're going to celebrate, and we're going to build this bond. And I think it's halfly also because of being a military kid.
Yeah.
There's two reactions of being a military kid. I always tell people, either because you move around, you're going to have issues making friends, or you have it the way I do it is I'm like, look here, we don't have that much time to be sitting around figuring out if we're going to be friends or not. So if we cool and I get a good vibe off top, I'm your homie until otherwise. And
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people, they look at me crazy like that. They're like, yo, you give people that type of trust? Like, yeah, I'm going to give you, my thing is I give you the trust. I expect that you're going to do good, and it's up to you to show me that you're going to do bad.
Yeah.
Where other
Right.
people is like, no, you got to earn that. I'm not giving you that. And I'm like, that's just my mindset. It's like, I'm giving you that off top.
Yeah.
And it helps. It helps with the way I go through life. It helps with pushing the podcast. It helps with just trying to be successful in being a person that amplifies voices.
I wonder if
Well,
that's
look at
different
dude.
for military kids now. 'Cause back in our day of military kids, when you moved from a different base, you might have been across the world. You might not see that kid ever again.
Yeah.
Where it's like now, at least you got social media.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder how that changes for now. I'm curious about that now.
But what I wanted to off of Rudy, like, even from what he was saying, like, he was like the question you asked, I feel like that's what Rudy is, because even though you asked the question, he's still talking about us and putting us in. But I mean, that skill set that he speaks about is why he does the one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when we talk about who has better, like what people should do.
And that's what I was gonna draw into. You know,
like that's what fits. You know, when we were trying to figure out new shows to do. Like, I definitely suggested, like, bro, you need to,
Yeah.
like, because you like talking, like, they gonna talk to you, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
and drawing off that was like literally what I was gonna draw into. Yeah, through the person you are, you've obviously addressed like it's not only being an entertainer; it's about being a person who loves and values watching others succeed alongside in this journey. Your shows, One-on-One with Deuces, Mojo. I'm like, where do all these ideas come from?
Bro, I'm a person that I got two philosophies. One with interviews, right?
Do me a favor right now. I hate to cut you off. Do the intro to Mojo, to watch Mojo. Just do it.
I guess you do gotta watch it.
I'm just kidding.
All right, but like, because I was thinking about it, I'm like, how I'm gonna do this? But I'm a person that I like with the interviews. It's already a no. That's how I look at it, right?
Yeah.
No matter who I ask, it's already a no. So I'm not going in thinking that this is a go-to yes. Now, where I do believe is I believe that I have the ability to get anybody on our podcast.
Yes.
So I reach out to everybody in general. Like there's no
I'm gonna give you an Air 5, bro. Here.
Yeah. I reach out to everybody because it's all about just time, and if you have the time, right? So we've gotten some yeses that I'm just like, yo, how did I get that? But I'm like, I mean, I literally just pitched to them, right? It's already a no. So it's like, I'm just gonna keep on trying because I'm these stories, and as we can stay consistent and we continue to do it, like then it's like it becomes something, right? But when it comes down to just like doing Watch Mojo and doing voice acting and acting, I'm a person that I believe that anybody can do anything. You just got to try. So it's like a lot of like with Watch Mojo, it was literally me just putting it out in the atmosphere. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that I can do this. And with us having the equipment, it allowed me to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then the same thing with acting. I'm like, yo, there's got to be a way in voice acting that you can do these things even here from Milwaukee. And I'm like, I'm going to just find out and try. You know what I'm saying? And then I find out and I'm like, all right, well, let me just do it. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to stay consistent with it. And I'm patient as fuck. And so like, yeah. So it's like all that in tangent helps out.
Can I ask what guest that you had come on One-on-One with Deuces, which one was the one where you were just like you
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because you've had a lot, man, and
there's multiple.
I mean, you could drop them gems if you want to, bro. But
there's a couple because
there's multiple. Yeah. I'm just going off the fact of the names that how I remember, because each time he drops those ones in the group chat, he's like, "Yo,"
Yeah.
I see it. I look at it. I go, oh, okay. hit the little thumbs up button, So it's like, you can definitely tell the ones where he's like, oh, this finna kill him in the group chat.
Right.
Like, Kadeem Hardison was one for sure.
Yeah.
Kadeem Hardison was one. Jay Ellis, because it was around the height of Insecure, that was one that I was like, yo, we got fucking Jay Ellis. Deborah Wilson was a huge one. Because
That was one you could tell he thought he was killing it in the group chat. And we all said dope. It's not like we ever.
They're gonna shoot it down, but
like,
it's not the excitement that I have.
I be feeling like he be wanting to. Oh shit!
I knew.
I did it.
I feel like those are like, those are interviewer high five. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you knew other interviewers, you'd be like, guess who I got? But it's like,
I see it. I'm like, oh, dope. Flame emoji.
Right.
But Kel Mitchell was one.
Man.
Now that was one I got Bacardi. That was one that I got Bacardi.
I was here at the studio that day. I was like, bro, you wild for this. Like,
I'm not, man. Look, it's inspiring to watch the guests that you bring on, and even right now, like I do. That's what I'm doing right now. But all from Milwaukee. But it's inspirational to watch how far you've gotten, bro. Yeah. Like to see through the names and when you have those interviews, what is something common that you always take away from those interviews?
That people, they don't have the platform always to talk about these type of things. I think the reason why people enjoy going on our podcast and with these interviews is because we're tapping into something that they don't talk about on Jay Leno or Fallon or the Breakfast Club.
Again, it don't fit the narrative.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And but see, that's all we want to focus on. You know what I'm saying? Like granted, like yes, I know that you're doing this show or you're doing this album, and we love that. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna celebrate it and we're gonna give you a moment to talk about it. But I don't want that to be the basis of our interview, because I know that next week you're gonna be on, you know what I'm saying, a bigger platform or another or a podcast or a radio station, and you're gonna talk the same talking points. I don't want that. I want where people be like, yo, I never heard them talk about this, and this is super dope. You know what I'm saying? To this day, Jay Ellis has not talked about his love for DC Comics and Blue Marvel, but it's on our podcast. Yeah. So it's like, it's even one of those things that if he does eventually talk about it, people go back like, oh snap, yeah, he was talking about it, right? Yeah. You know, and then I love when I see things come into fruition. I talked to O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yep, I saw that,
we
man.
talked about his love for video games, and he wants to be the Kevin Feige of video game movies. But you know what I'm saying? But then he was like, yo, but I'm working on this crazy project. I'm like, what's that about? He's like, bro, it's about a bear who did cocaine and went on a killing spree.
No.
And I'm like, dog, that sounds wild. He's like, based off a real story. And the next thing you know, cocaine bear out. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
My God. Talk about a gem. We ain't playing here.
That whole let me get in here thing be throwing me, man.
Dog, because you know you wanna get in there. Throw some horns on there.
But, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that. I love that. But then I think the biggest thing is that once you tap into like something that somebody likes, they identify that, yo, these are my people I can talk about. Yeah. These people that I've interviewed, we be chopping it up in the DMs, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy that like I can chop it up with Kel about Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan, and I'm like, bro, I grew up idolizing you, watching you on all that, on Kenan and Kel, and now we just shooting the shit about anime. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like this is wild to me. And then it's always crazy when I'm interviewing somebody, and I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my whole spiel, yo, who we are. When they're like, we know you. I'm like, how? Like, oh yeah, such and such you had on told me about you, or I saw the interview deal with such and such, and I'm like, this to me is crazy, because now it's like, oh, you wanted to be on there. Like, yeah, because, you know what I'm saying, I want to talk about this, and I don't ever talk about this. And I'm like, that's super dope. So,
I could relate to you on so many levels, because you've obviously seen the guests I've brought on my platform and the ones to come in the future. Now it went from, I'm not going to lie, it started off, Kyle Olsen, shout out to Kyle Olsen, Emmy winner. It started off with him, and it just progressed, and it's I've had people come up to me and tell me that they watch the
They've
show.
seen it, yeah.
I've had people say, what they love about the show.
Yeah.
And, when I listen to you talking about it, it's like the greatest feeling is knowing, and the one thing that's common for me is that knowing that these are just regular people.
Yeah.
And it's them wanting, they get to, just like you guys are here right now. Like, I feel honored. And when I say that, I don't mean that lightly. Like, I really feel honored because, you're very successful in what you're doing right now. And to give me some of your time, like, that just speaks a lot. And I appreciate it.
No, definitely. I mean, we don't get to tell our story often too, so that's
and it is, and it's like people right now are getting to know you guys on a different level. Like, who are the Geek Set? Like, and that's a cool.
I mean, we feel like we really are getting into that space now. Like this year or the past
year and a half,
that year and a half, whatever. We've been all coming into a place of our individual selves and as GEEKSET Podcast.
Just know who did it first. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, just the social media presence and everything.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Because for the longest, I've been telling Bacardi, I said, bro, all that stuff, you setting up, cutting in there. I was like, people love the process. People love seeing a process, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to, you know what I'm saying? He's finally getting into it. So my next project is getting Didge to understand, like, bro, show people you setting up the podcast, setting up the camera, setting up the lights, because, the great thing about social media is the gift and the curse is that you can find your tribe, right? Where I'm more in the social media world with social media personalities and everything like that, right? So I want to chop it up with them folks. But Cardi, saying he'll chop it up with them, but it's like that's not his interest that heavily. But one of the things that I know based off of, with him doing the fashion, I said, bro, there's no reason why you should not be able to chop it up with the nigga who created Hundreds or the person who created, Fashion Freakers, Like Bacardi should be in those realms. And then Didge, what I love, and this is where Didge started it, but I want him to continue it, is anytime we have guests in, just like that, you see Didge and your cameraman going crazy over the equipment.
Shout out to Nick.
Shout out to Nick. You know what I'm saying? When the Plastic Cup Boys came, they had their cameraman chopping it up with them. When Kev on stage and them came, Didge chopping it up with Josh Egan. Like, the people behind the production.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That should be Didge's crew. That should be his inner circle.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They should be, and that's what I love. It's like, I want to help continue that, because it's like, that's where the stories is, where I may not be like, oh yeah, this road mic is super crazy. Knowing Didge is going to be like, no. Like, Didge was so happy when we got that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was too geeked. And I'm geeked, like, oh, I just want to have the sound. But Didge is like, oh, we got the sounds. We got this. I can move around with this. I can do that.
You love it, don't you, bro?
It's nice.
Yeah,
It's nice.
But it is that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Encouraging that. Like, let's get in those realms.
It's a journey, man, because I started out with the Pro 1. And if you watch the commercial, the Pro 1 is in the commercial.
Yeah.
Philly Flyboy. Man, my phone went off at the time where he was giving me my flowers about how he noticed that there was a different board in the video. Most people don't notice that. And then to upgrade, and then we talk about the symbolic of the situation, or the symbolism. This is really taking off for you, this podcast.
Yeah.
What are achievements that have come from the GEEKSET podcast?
Oof.
Let's do it. This is the time.
Shit talking time.
So, I mean, first and foremost, because I don't know what you guys are going to go with.
Go with it.
First and foremost, we were in Forbes. Yeah. That's the one I'm leaving.
Yeah, I know that's what you wanted. That's the one you wanted.
Of course, that's the one I want. Do you know how many people I go to and go, oh, that's cool? I was in Forbes, bro. And it took a while for that to set in.
That's fire.
Go ahead.
I just want to say, what was really dope about the Forbes was everybody had an individual moment. Like, so when we first got it, and I told them, hey, we're gonna be in Forbes, I was the most excited at that time. Yeah. And then like a week later, I think Bacardi was like, bro, we about to be in Forbes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like probably like a week or a week and a half later, Didge was like, yo, we in Forbes. Like, it was just like everybody had their moment. So I thought that was dope.
Think about it.
Insane.
Jay, Bill Gates, Rihanna, like all these big names have been, you were in Forbes,
I mean,
bro.
and the impact of what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, we were trying to put blur, like, you know,
Definitely.
the term blurs, and just like that's really like it's in a sense is putting black into space, like putting black people in a different space. So like with blurs being, you know, what it is, being able to see that in the headline of Blerds, you know what I'm saying? Like
I wish and that's again, like, I gotta give y'all flowers. Like, that's what I love about y'all podcast. It's like this transparency of put your guards down.
Yeah.
Put your guards down and just understand, like, in some form of way, like Didge, how you was saying, you geeking out.
Yeah.
I remember when I was bartending. Sports, when you bartend, and I did this for 5 years, sports is one of the biggest
for sure.
conversation starter, or just conversation in general. So through that, I work at a sports bar, sports on all the time. What you think I'm absorbing?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, now you seeing me throw out stats. I'm predicting how games are gonna go, and they're coming out. I'm geeking out.
Yeah, of course. And
you didn't call interest in something, and now you're realizing, like, so you're just more aware. You actually, like, you're doing the research on it, even if you're not really physically doing the research, but because you're in the space where it's always there, you're
absorbing
it. You're absorbing it in.
So Forbes,
Forbes
that's
for
one.
sure.
Forbes is one.
Well, that was the biggest one for me.
So for me, man, I'm so Milwaukee. Like, I love my city so much.
Yeah.
And when TMJ4 did the article,
Yeah, TMJ4.
that was also a huge
that was a
one.
huge, because I'm just like, because you know how it is with music. We try so hard to be to be put on for the city and everything like that, right? And the way that TMJ4 did the article on us, I watched it so many times because I'm just like, yo, like, this was a beautiful segment, and it captured everything that GeekSet is so much. And I just felt so good that my city was, like, interested in what we were doing.
Yeah.
And we was able to share our story with the city. Like,
That one was nice because I had friends and, like, friends' parents, like, oh, Demetri, I heard you in the TMJ4 there. And that one was definitely nice for that, because it's like people you haven't talked to in forever. You know, they all still stay here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, you are doing something with your life. That's cool to see.
I'm here.
I mean, if I had to say it, I mean, the accomplishment in family has to be, fam, Sway's fucking universe, man. Like, getting no Sway. Like,
Fucking ghetto.
like, getting in, stepping in with Sway is huge, bro. That's a really big.
Yes.
That's a really. We're talking about like the man, like a man of the
People.
reporting.
I
of
just
hip-hop.
remember when he was on MTV and he started off as a VJ.
VJ.
A VJ.
That's what I was gonna say. If you know hip hop culture,
Yeah.
you know
know
Sway.
Sway.
You know Sway.
Yep.
And that's why it's so dope to be associated and affiliated with him and doing content for him, because, you know, Sway comes with a prestige, right? He's known for reporting on the culture, and he has that notoriety for doing it, right? And so, you know, it started off when we got in Forbes. There was so many people that was in this culture that they interviewed, but they never used the term Blerds, right?
Yeah.
So then we started Blerds on Forbes. And then when I got on Watch Mojo, realizing that I'm the only black narrator, you know, there was a lot of black writers and people who, you know, they may have filled in some guest spots, but as far as the narration, like, I was the black narrator. So I did Blerds on Watch Mojo.
Yeah.
And so when we came about it, we started thinking about, like, we didn't invent the term blurred, but we're helping put in the term in places that matter, right? In the news and stuff like that. So I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What makes working with Sway so dope is that he already has the culture who trust him and what he's saying. And so it's like, he wants to explore blurred culture because it's like, yo, I want to help understand black nerds and stuff like that. And he's giving us the support and the platform where now not only it fits what we want to do as GeekSet as far as amplifying voices, you know what I'm saying, shedding light on this culture, but we have somebody who is big enough to back us. There's like, yo, all right, these people,
these are the ones.
These are the ones.
These are the ones. And I love the reviews you guys been doing. You got the Mandalorian, you got the Last of Us. Like, that's huge because, you know, it's current. It's current right now. And to say these gentlemen from the 414, baby.
Like, man, that's what I'm saying. It's really, and it's really good because what is great that I think that we don't really look at it as far as, well, I know we look at it. I think we do pay attention to what we're doing, but it's the fact that we're making the content. Like we are like Sway, like we're doing this for Sway, but Sway is like y'all do what y'all do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Like,
be
y'all
you.
like, yeah,
be
y'all
you,
like,
yeah.
like we're able to actually do what we like, exactly what we want to do, and they love the
It's
content.
still
that we're giving
so
them.
wild though.
Are you
where-
are you surprised the traction the GeekSet podcast is taking?
So the surprise is just, I think it's more so because we're coming up in music and not necessarily being used to getting love like that. Like you usually have to scratch and claw for it.
Yeah.
Versus in podcasting and with everything that we've been doing, we've been really accepted, right? So the surprise come from, whoa, yo, people are actually rocking with us. But I think it's also because we've been clear and open with our vision.
So yeah, man. You guys be hosting events.
Yeah, man. You know,
You be hosting events.
We
Not
try-
only that, you running a documentary right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely the big thing. That's the big. That's the elephant in the room.
Let's speak on that.
Yeah, man, we doing the Black Geek documentary, man. It's our documentary, our love letter to the blerd culture. You know what I'm saying?
I love
and
that tagline.
I do too. Yeah, even Didge created the tagline, so that's why he really loves it.
Fire.
Yeah, but
It's also a good tagline.
it's a great tagline. It definitely is.
It was necessary.
It's one of those things that it was a passion idea, but it aligned with everything that we were doing. You know what I'm saying? We started realizing how blerd culture was growing and how it was within so many facets of life. And we was like, we would love to be a part of history with this as far as telling a story, introducing people to it, but also just showing the different aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? We have people a part of the crew of Black Geek documentary whose story is like, when we talk about it, we're like, yo, oh yeah. So here's that. Sorry, let me go back. You know how when you get a new car and then once you get that new car, you see it everywhere you go?
Yep.
You're like, dang, I thought this was like, I never seen this car before, but now I'm seeing it everywhere. We got people in the crew whose aspects of their life that once you hear it, I'm like, oh, we gonna see this everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to King, one of the people I'm talking about.
Yeah.
King on our crew, he has a barbershop. And just like we talked about, barbershop talk is usually filled with music talk, basketball talk, sports talk, whatever the case may be, right? But when you go into his barbershop, it's anime filled, video games, you got anime on the screen, and it's different. You know what I'm saying? He got Funko Pops and posters, kind of like our Geek Safe Haven here. It looks just like this, but in a barbershop setting. And so I expected, once I realized that was his makeup of it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna run into so many barbers who do the same thing, and I don't.
I've seen one,
Yeah, but
and it was on Instagram.
Yeah, but when you tell people about it, they're like, yo, that's a dope barbershop. I would love to go to it. And it was like, yo, these are the type of stories that need to be told, but in a responsible way. You know, we want to talk about it.
Well thought out. Yeah.
So we started doing the Black Geek documentary and going on this journey. And, you know, it's just been a really dope thing. Just having these conversations, these panels that we've been holding in these events, is us showing the different aspects of Black geek culture and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long version of our amplification of the culture. Like like I said, with our conventions, like all the stuff that we've been doing and meeting people, is like we're trying to, when we had the light bulb moment of like, it's not about us. Like it's about, you know, it's about showing everybody. It makes sense because at the same time we produce podcast shows, so it's like, why don't we just really film? Like it turned into a journey of like, we're actually out here meeting these people when we go to conventions and doing these interviews and going, you know, we're traveling out of town and meeting people of different kinds and different, you know, in different avenues, whether they be, like you said, like King having a barbershop, or meeting, you know, cosplayers who like specifically cosplay and dress, and you know what I'm saying, you meeting all these people that are of blerd culture that are in, you know, in this lane, you know what I'm saying, and that's, you know, so that you realize like, while we're going to be doing this for probably forever, you know what I'm saying, we can take a pocket of our time to really show the journey of and let people see.
It's inspiring, man. Like what y'all are doing is something so major, but more than that, it's just you're finally giving people the courage to stand out for themselves rather than being quiet and just not expressing how they truly feel. Where do you see this platform going in the next 5 years? I know you just said this is something you see going for life, But as far as narrowing it down, because I mean, the documentary you're doing right now, that alone is huge.
Right.
That is, I'm excited. And if you do a premiere, please make sure I get my ticket.
We got you.
Because I think also it goes with our mindset because
Yeah.
we don't want to do anything half-ass, right? So like, we got a legit director.
Military child in me wouldn't let me.
Yeah. So
There
we
we
got
go.
a legit director. We're using high-end cameras.
My boy over there just soak it in.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we want to put this on a higher platform and continue to do that. But in the next 5 years, what I hope, and not where I see us actually going out is not even hope anymore. I can vision it now.
Yeah.
Is that we are going to be a platform that people aspire to go to.
Yep.
Right. So that way it can be celebrated because that's what I wanted. I want us to get to a point where in blurred culture, let's say whether you're a new person, like, okay, I want to know more about blurred culture. We are one of the resources that people are like, well, let me see who GeekSet is talking to.
Yeah.
But I also want the OGs and the people that are in the culture that's like, if you do something dope, you're just like, okay, oh man, I got this new role in this show, or I got this. You know what? I got to go talk to GeekSet about it. Like,
Yeah.
I want that for us because then it becomes with, like I said, we are helping the culture because, like I said, we don't have to be the it in the culture. We want to be able to help it. I want to be able to, like, if you're watching it, you're like, yo, I didn't know about this person, and now I'm a fan of this person.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we want. We want to offer that platform. That's where I see it coming and going to.
For me, honestly, people are fucking talented.
Oh my
Yeah.
Like, just before anything else, people like seeing some of the stuff people do with their cosplay. People who are creating their own manga, their own anime, their own anything, writing their own books. People are so fucking talented, and they don't get the shine that they deserve.
Yeah.
And so within what we're doing now and where I see us going in the next 5 years is just exponentially showing so much more to the people who need to be seen.
Yeah.
It's just honestly, a couple of weeks in C2E2, saw a girl who she was doing a manga, and I was like, yo, this is dope. I got to go talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be literally that for the next 5 years, 10 years and beyond.
Just going
showing
forward.
people like, yo, this person is fucking talented. You need to see them.
Yep.
So it's that.
That's respect.
I mean, I see us as, in the next 5 years, I see us as being which we've been trying to do. Like I said, we're like I coined it, we're trying to pioneer the blur culture. Like, we're trying to put it really out there. Yeah. But what I visually see is that we're going to get to a place where GeekSet is going to be in a lot more areas, a lot more, like I said, whether we're doing movie premieres, we're doing, like, we're really going to be reporting in a place where, like, when you see us, like, you're going to want to come, like you said, like, you're going to want to, because we're going to ask something, like, if we're doing a Marvel premiere, you know what I'm saying, and you know who GeekSet is, as a star walker, you gonna want to come talk to us, especially if you're like a black actor or something, like, like, GeekSet here, I gotta go talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I look at it, and I look at it as something that I look at as we're gonna be this. I don't know what you want to call it, like this kind of glue that really expands this community out, like, where you're gonna see more reactions, because of the one-on-ones and things like that. Like, we're building these people that, that, like how Deuces says, like, people already talk to themselves about going on Deuces' show. Yeah. So, like, being able to see more of these people outside in public, kind of like expressing more of their geek culture or talking more about it, because they have realized that they are in that community. You know what I'm saying? Like, for Deuces to interview somebody and realize that this is a dope ass geek interview. I got plenty of guys that be on this. I mean, I'm gonna get everybody in here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that I just see it as a sense where GeekSet is gonna be something that's just really gonna be synonymous with the culture and everybody really in it.
Yeah. Man. So this brings us to our last question. But to me, it's always the most important. What advice would you give to those that haven't had the courage to come into their form of geek?
Oh, find your person. I mean, it's not hard. It's not really hard. You don't be scared to let the world know that you like something.
Yeah.
I think even for me, one of my, like I said, what got me into even being on the podcast was me having my first time going to a convention on my own to see some of my guys I played video games with, but I'm sharing that on social media. So it's also the first time everybody looking at me like, bro, you go to that kind of shit? And I'm like, I never went to it, but I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you seeing it, but that really was what got me the tag to be with Rudy on the podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Because someone saw that photo, like, you like that shit. So I know somebody who got this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so don't be scared to let the world know you actually like something. You know what I'm saying? And we live in this kind of world where people make their opinions, and we live in a very opinionated world.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying?
For sure. I mean, social media done blew this.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure.
So don't be scared. There's something literally because of social media. There's something for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So if whatever you think is the weirdest thing or whatever, or if you have a friend, most of the time we don't do it because we have people in our circle that
discourage it.
Yeah, they discourage it. So you don't realize that there's billions of people still in the world.
Yeah,
you can create these relationships whatever with. So that's mine. Like, just do it. Do what you want to do. Like, just really do it in respect. In respect.
That's awesome.
In respect. Yeah.
How about you, Rudy?
I would say, don't get in your own way, right? You know what I'm saying? So kind of similar to what Bacardi was saying, but a lot of the times you also talk yourself out of something because like, you can't see yourself doing it. You can't see the world liking it. You can't see people accepting it. It's self-consciousness. And, the one thing that I've seen, and even when I see people finally come into their own, is that they realize, like, I'm my own person. So if
you gotta do it for
you know what I'm saying, you gotta do it for you. So it's like, I'm not gonna talk myself out. If I think that if your goal is I want to create this big cosplay, but you know what I'm saying, then but it's like but I don't know how to sew, I don't know how to do this. Like, no. There's so many resources. Go ahead and learn it and do it, and because you are your own person. Don't talk yourself out of it. You know what I'm saying? If you are a person who's like, what, I want to be a voice actor, go out, figure out what you need to do to do it. Do the research and just do it. Don't talk yourself out like, I'm from this small rural town. Nobody looking for no. We have resources now that you can do things from home. You can do things from where you're at. You can learn a skill set, and so it's like, just don't talk yourself out of it. Do it. And you're gonna fail. Yes, you're gonna have bumps. You're gonna have hiccups. But as long as you stay persistent, you continue. After a while, you become somebody who people gonna ask you how to do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to school for broadcasting and anything of that nature. And there's people now asking me, how do you get interviews? How do you book guests? And I'm just like, this is what I did.
That's
but it's
awesome.
like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I used to have this tagline on a signature in one of my emails, and it said, "Work so hard that your signature becomes your autograph."
Okay.
Because it's like, at some point, the way that you write your name, if you continue to do what you love and people start seeing it, now people are going to want your signature on things. And that always fueled me. It's like, you know what? I'm going to continue to work. I'm going to do what I want to do. I want to put people on. But I was like, I'm going to work until a point where people get excited to see GeekSet. Where it's like, now it's not, hey, GeekSet, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to do a favor for you, hop on your podcast. But it's now, like I said, go back to original, where people's like, oh, GeekSet here? Where they at? I want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you work so hard until people, and then like I said, what we love is that we're being us.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't got to put it on. When that camera comes on, we literally just, it makes it so simple for us to do this because we're just being us.
Yeah. How about you, Deej?
For me, I'm gonna look at it a different way, and they were talking more so about how do you get wanting to do it. I want to talk to the people who they know they want to do it, but they don't know exactly how. And I think the best way to do that is to paraphrase the interview that we had recently with Martha Harms, another Milwaukee native who is a voice actor.
Okay.
And she said basically, follow what you are passionate about. Go to that thing that hooks you, that whether it's anime, movies, video games, books, whatever. Find that thing that hooks you and dive into that, because your passion is going to bleed through to what you do. And when your passion bleeds through, you're gonna go that extra effort, and that extra effort is gonna mean the most.
Right.
So for those people who are like, I know I want to do something. I don't have that fear, but I just don't know what I can do. Where's my lane?
Yeah.
Look at what you're passionate at. Look at what drives your heart. Dive into that, and I guarantee you're gonna have success in it.
That's like the full paragraph of loving what you do, doing what you love. Like, that's really what it means.
That just took me back,
to be
bro.
fair, and I listened to you guys. I could sat there and just thought the entire time.
You had time.
I had time.
You had time.
Hey, I just want to say that just blew me back, bro. Like, cause it's been a journey, man. A year and a half ago, I gave up drinking.
Yeah.
Congrats.
I appreciate it, but that's when I eliminated the biggest potential blocker, and then I had family members that
story for this too. Keep on.
I had family members that's like, you need to do something with your voice. Like, you've always had this. It's kind. I relate to you a lot because how I grew up was I had the big mouth. I wasn't scared of attention. Yeah. I could captivate people's attention. And where it's come in less than a year since I started this, I started the idea right around this time last year.
Okay.
And then in less than a year to be where I'm at right now, where it's starting to pick up traction, it's been a journey. And to hear the advice you just gave, it's like, focus on the passion and let it hook you. Dive into it, and it's just like that's what it's become. And now I'm in your studio. I'm with you guys, and like I said, I look at y'all like celebrities. I don't care. Out of Milwaukee, you're putting this city on your back, and you are making major moves that honestly I honor. I'm inspired by, and it gives me a fuel from within to push what I'm doing.
Thank you for that. That's actually still a little bit weird because we had somebody literally come up to us at the Shepherd Express award show. And they said the exact same thing, and we all kind of looked at each other like, wait. What?
Yeah, so he started a podcast.
He said he literally started a podcast before, and I do apologize because I don't remember his name. But if you're watching, bro, like you definitely left a mark on us with your words for that, because it was just like, wait, we inspired somebody.
I mean, I think it'd be hard because for me, it's easier because I try to remember, like, we've been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
So when I meet people who like, I started a podcast last year, you know what I'm saying, because I caught y'all. I mean, it feels good because it's like we've done a lot of the footwork. So
you know why? I know why you think that too.
What?
Why it's still like, we did this a while, because a lot of the things that we really started equating to where we're at now, we started it from the
from
video seems like our start.
Well,
we had 2.5, 3 years before that of all audio.
And even doing audio, we were podcasting. We had got linked with NPS. Like, we were doing our very first celebrity interview was when we were still audio.
Yeah, with the Red Ranger.
Interviewing the Red Ranger from
Steve Cardenas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I wanted to tell a story, and this is something I don't even know if I told y'all about it. But so you saw about that year and a half, like you marked that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when the pandemic hit, they know this. One of the things I said is I don't want us to lose steam. And that's kind of where one-on-one with Deuces started. We started doing the GEEKSET Rewind. Like, we started creating more things.
Everything came out. The clothesline was with everything.
Yeah.
Pandemic, everything. Everybody kind of went in their lane of.
Yep. But one of the things that I really did, and this is on a personal level, like, I don't know what people's religion is and everything, but I'm a spiritual person. Like, as far as believing, like, I believe in a higher power, but it's like I don't subscribe to a religion. But one of the things that I used to really push for GEEKSET was I wanted GEEKSET to be a part of something, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should be on this network. We should be on this. We should be a part of something, right? And I was pushing hard for that. This is when we were just audio. I was trying to push for us to be that voice, right? But everything kept on going back to, no, y'all are not a part of something. Y'all are the something, right? So one day I legit sat and I was in my head and I was in my thoughts and I said, you know what? I'm going to stop fighting against the current. I'm going to believe in whoever is pushing this, the high power who is pushing us to be this. And I am just going to go with the flow with it. And I'm going to stop trying to push against it. I'm going to stop getting in my head being salty because this network didn't rock with us or this person didn't rock with us. And I said, I'm just going to lean in on that. And that was at the beginning of the pandemic. And when we started the one-on-one with Deuces, we started creating the GEEKSET Rewind shows and the fashion and everything like that. And I stopped trying to put us with networks and really just said, let's just focus on us. We've had so much success with that. And I equate that so much to that faith process because even though, and like I said, we joked about it at the beginning but like they're okay with calling me the face, but I don't know if people notice every time I talk, even if it's an idea that I have, I say it's our idea. Yeah, that's always my thought process. How we put us on, right?
That's why you can unify. That's how you get elected as the face.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's selfless. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the point.
Yeah.
So because of that, and even with that, and just even like knowing that, like I had that thought process of doing, like, you know what I'm saying, with that, and they help uplift me to be comfortable with being that and calling it the face and everything. It's just like I see that and I'm just like, yo, whatever's working for us and helping push that, whatever faith you believe in. Bacardi's more spiritual than everybody in the crew. So like he has a more deeper, you know what I'm saying, probably insight to it. But that was the first time that I said, I am giving it over to faith. You tell me where to go. And it's been crazy because it's been nothing but success since then. Yeah. And that's something that I've been holding that near and dear because I'm like, this is the first time that I gave my all into this. Like even all the stuff we've been doing, I feel like I've been giving my all, but I felt like I was still like, I'm giving my all, and then somebody's like, go this way. And I'm like, no, let's go this way. And this is the first time for these past 2.5 years that I'm like, all right, where are you pulling me? Are we going here? Let's go here. Okay, you pulling me there? We're going there. And it's just been like, yo, this has been crazy to see this process. Yeah.
I just, man, thank you for giving me your time.
Thank you for having us.
You guys, you see what I'm trying to do for the city.
Yeah.
And I really feel you are one of the greatest examples of success. You put your mind to something, you believe in your mission, and you're executing it. And everything you, like I said just a moment ago, it's inspiring, and I love it. I love it, and it's you are paving this way. So thank you again for coming on here.
That's pure humble.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on here.
Yeah.
And
thank you for coming down to the studio.
Hey, man, thank you. Yeah, for real, bro.
GEEKSET headquarters. This is the second time that the people will see it on camera from another person's perspective. So.
And don't worry, we're gonna have it.
Oh, I know you will. That's the one thing I love about your platform. Like when you first came to us, and I showed them, I was like, yo, this cat want to, you know what I'm saying, interview us. I said, look at his quality. This is definitely something we should go.
I appreciate it.
I mean, and that's what you want to look for. I mean, like I said, that's how we and you're doing it on your own. Like we pride ourselves on putting our efforts in, trying to do our best quality. So when you see someone who's really trying to do the same thing, you want to try to do your.
It speaks volumes.
Yeah, you want to try to do what you can.
I do got a team. I want to shout them out.
Yeah.
You know?
Most def.
I got Nick behind that camera.
Big Nick.
Right.
I got Steven in LA that's gonna be editing this.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
West Coast, Didge happy for that.
Yeah,
West Coast.
I don't want that to become a narrative, guys. I just happen to be born there.
West Coast Didge been.
I got Michael Cooper audio.
Yeah. Build a team.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
for
is
sure.
so important to have a team, bro.
You can't
because
you can't do everything on your own.
That share the same drink, and I think the problem of it is you don't share the same vision. You just see how you fit in that vision as well.
Yeah.
Like we're not all trying to be Deuces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are trying to put GEEKSET to a platform, like our brand to a place that is noticeable and everybody wants it. So we all figure out how do we put our part into it.
Because if I would have still been doing the merch, it would have just been logo tees. All it would have been is logo tees. You know what I'm saying? So Bacardi definitely helped us step up. And even with the cameras and mics and everything like that, like it would have been a slower process without Didge.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would have, we would have eventually got there, but Didge definitely, and even the quality, it would have been bare minimum 1080. Maybe even 720. Didge got us in 4K. I be looking at it, I'm like, dog, we look good as fuck on this camera, dog.
Well, man, again, thank you for coming on. And, man, if you got an outro, I'm down to let you do it.
We don't never really have a. Well, I guess we have that. We do have an outro.
Our outro is more just plugging everything.
Right.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, it's Spearhead Conversations. Duh.